This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
Welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock, joined by John Brummett of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Good to see you, a little earlier than normal. So
Yes.
early I couldn't find a tie.
Well, I couldn't find my cognizance, so this may be tough, but I'll try. Fire me up with a Trump
question. We're going all
maybe.
impeachment
Okay.
in this segment. So the Democrats bring forth an impeachment inquiry.
Yes.
Is it justified?
Sort of. I don't think. Well, I mean, I don't think they've handled it right. I think either you institute impeachment proceedings and you get your House Judiciary Committee to begin specific hearings on impeachment articles that you would be considering. I think that's the way that you would proceed. I don't know what an impeachment inquiry is, other than we're going to keep investigating. We're going to, through all these committees, and we're going to investigate more thoroughly this new whistleblower complaint through our existing structure. But so I don't like the way they did it, and I believe it would be more justified and less susceptible to criticism if they'd done it more the way I just suggested. But that's not to say that the allegation made by the whistleblower, supported by his statement, and supported to some extent by the Inspector General, and admitted to on some of the facts by the President in the White House's release of the transcript or the report of the conversation, is not valid. We've got a serious matter here. Procedurally, I didn't think they handled it exactly right.
Yeah. So I think this gets to your procedure question here. This could be a really, 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 really long fishing expedition, because you are going to continue, I think, to find additional things to explore if you get some of the evidence that you're looking for, if you get, say, more copies of the calls that they have requested. You might find some other avenues that you want to continue to go down, and without that kind of definition of what you're doing procedurally, this thing could go on for, where do you get to the point, if you're the Democrats, to say, let's bundle this up and wrap it up and let's move forward with formal impeachment?
I can't answer that. I would also preferred a special select committee, like the old Sam Ervin committee, and just set it up and put them on cable television or the main networks in the afternoon, and because as what's his name said last night on 60 Minutes, Adam Schiff, the whistleblower's complaint gives us a roadmap. It tells us who to talk to now, and then what that might lead to. So I don't know at what point they say we need to actually draft articles of impeachment and vote. Do
you think time is of the essence, though? You think this has to be a little bit of a short walk versus
Yes.
a year from now or 6 months from now?
Once you have gone in on impeachment, you need to get to impeachment or not. You don't need to keep talking about an impeachment inquiry while you go along doing the same old kind of thing, disruptive thing that the Republicans and the Trump defenders can call a witch hunt, or as you just called it, a fishing expedition, which has a bad connotation. But that's what an investigation is. You go fishing to see what you catch. You know,
Right.
That's what it is. So yeah, there's been some discussion that this thing might happen relatively quickly, but it needs to. I mean, if you're going to do it, do it. You know.
Let's talk about Republican and Trump counter messaging that came out of this. Let's go Republicans first. I saw spaghetti being thrown at the wall. I've heard everything from Representative Rick Crawford in an interview that I did with him over the weekend say it's not an impeachable offense, to what about Joe Biden? What about Hunter Biden? What about Hillary's emails? You know, none of this stuff rises to the level of, impeachable. I've heard a little bit of everything from everywhere. It seems like the Republicans are caught way off guard with their counter messaging on this.
Well, yeah, and last night on 60 Minutes you had Kevin McCarthy saying, to the question of how should the President now and the White House now prepare to defend against what? He didn't even want to acknowledge that there was anything here to worry about. But there is. The prevailing thing I've heard from the President's most ardent defenders is the most classic case of what is coming to be known as whataboutism that I've ever heard. I've got a column for tomorrow that said, you know what, I'd like to agree with y'all. Hunter Biden ought to have more personal ethics than to cash in on his father's being vice president to take a job as a lucrative job with the Ukrainian natural gas company. He should. Not illegal, but he shouldn't have done it. Joe Biden should not have been made by Barack Obama the point person for dealing with Ukraine during this the ouster of this Russian-friendly leader and a corrupt culture that they were dealing with. Joe Biden should not have been the one, because of his association with Hunter Biden, to tell them, get rid of this prosecutor general, because this prosecutor general had at one point was looking into this natural gas company. None of that has anything to do with whether Hunter Biden did anything wrong or Joe Biden did anything wrong, and the evidence is that they didn't. But the appearances are bad. But at any rate, what I'm saying is, yeah, all of that happened. I'm with you. Now, will you agree with me that none of that has a thing in the world to do with the President of the United States getting on the phone to the Ukrainian president and saying, I need you to do me a favor if you want this money, essentially is what he said.
I need you to do a favor, though.
Right.
You got to keep the key word in there.
Oh, they added the word, yeah. It has nothing to do with it. I'm saying that next, I think Elizabeth Warren is going to jump to the head of the Democratic race. And these Trump defenders probably ought to go switch their whataboutism to her. Well, what about Elizabeth Warren? She wants to take away everybody's employee health insurance. That has as much to do with the charge. It's as what they're saying about Joe Biden. It's defense by reason of changing the subject, which is what they're trying to do, and it's no defense at all. Everybody needs to account for their own actions. It's not zero sum. In modern day politics, when you get veteran politicos like Biden and people like Trump, everybody could have done something wrong. But one person doing something wrong does not excuse the others. And when they are unrelated, then you cannot assign any equivalency. You just got my tomorrow column. You got me worked up on that. I'm sorry.
You got to coin that phrase.
What?
The one you just spit out there that I laughed about, but I can't remember what it is now, but it was good.
Not guilty by reason of changing the subject.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not guilty by reason of changing the subject.
I think I need to license that or trademark that?
You need to.
Yeah. Okay.
I know there's a Trump that could help you with that trademark.
They could.
He's John Brummett with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Always good to see you.
Thank you, my man.
All right, thanks. That's all for today's program. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Roby Brock. I'll see you next time.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America, moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
I did.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas. Our 17 electric distribution cooperatives are working day and night to provide reliable, affordable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses, just like yours. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.